Hello and welcome to this edition of Brother Dynamite's If We Talk. I'm Sean Moynihan.
I'm Alan Miller.
All right, and we are here to talk to you about the songs on our new album, If We Dare.
Beautiful Lie.
Beautiful Lie.
So this is sort of a simmering kind of ballad. It's got a lot of emotion in it, and I'm pretty sure this is the first song that we wrote and recorded for the album. And
I believe so.
Even we did it. We wrote it before we were really on the path of making an album with these songs. It was kind of a standalone, but when we were putting together the album, we were like, well, that's got to go on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
and fun fact, one of the two songs on the album where you and I play everything.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
This is now, for those that don't know, Sean and I met when he was a drummer.
Right.
And I guess still is. You never know.
I was 16.
16 years old. I was probably 17, 18. Yep. And so Sean was a drummer when I first met him, and the drummer in the first band I was in, and the first band you were in.
That's right.
And so this is kind of like a nice return to form where Sean is behind the kit on this one and does a very nice job.
Oh, thank you.
After all these years.
That was fun.
No rust.
Yeah, that was I got the song in one take.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
Which is amazing. Trust me, I was the most amazed one in the room. But yeah, the original recording that we had on this, we and this was before we built this studio that we're sitting in right now, like from the ground up.
Yeah, to do this album.
To make this album.
Yeah.
And sort of the early very early days of what turned out to be this album were those early experiments in recording and using Pro Tools and everything on our own, and doing an entire album. Our intent was to do an entire album at home, which we did.
Right.
And originally the drums that we had on it were I was literally playing a keyboard, playing like one key, like on the keyboard, like playing the snare. Like I'm just gonna record this. Like this. I'm not even sure the snare and the kick were like on the same.
No,
we're on the same keyboard at the same time.
I don't know.
But anyway,
it was terrible.
It was. But it was
the job.
It was it was an early way for us to sort of figure out what we wanted to do.
It was part of the progression of getting to where we are now.
The themes of the album sort of run the spectrum, and this was a color that was necessary,
Right.
I feel like, to have,
I think so too.
This has my favorite guitar solo of yours on the album.
Oh, thank you.
The solo is just ridiculous.
Thank you
and it's always been like I've been listening to it for years, like on the cheap demo, and now I get it in all its hi-fi glory.
Thank you very much.
Killer job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Excellent solo.
I had fun playing.
What'd you play it on? Do you remember? I'm gonna put you on the spot now.
I don't really remember. It could have been
Les Paul. Maybe
it could have been a Les Paul, maybe an Epiphone Casino, but it has a certain bite to it, which the Casino has. So I'm gonna guess that it probably was the Epiphone Casino.
Yeah.
With the P90 pickups for all you gearheads. But yeah, it was a fun solo to play. Musically, it's got a lot of fun elements. I love sort of the ominous keyboards in the verses that sort of come crashing in. Every measure or whatever it is. And then the bridge in the middle is a wordless bridge that just contains a lot of, I think it's 4 or 5 part harmonies. The two of us.
Oh yeah,
that's right. Doing it, and sort of us trying to be the Beach Boys in that moment in time, and that turned out really nicely. I was happy with that.
that part of the song reminds me of Travis, the band Travis.
Oh, okay.
Like in that just that section, even though like they don't do anything like that. It's just the vibe.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
of that band. That's but yeah, nah, man. I love that part. Yeah.
You know, and lyrically, I love the lyrics, and vocally, that's like an outstanding vocal. I love the vocal on that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
that's one of the, that's probably one of the vocals I like the most.
Nice.
You know,
Nice
on the whole album.
I like them all, but
I feel like I gotta say I feel like I finally found my own voice.
Nice.
On this album, I really do. After and by that I mean like where I sing comfortably, like on everything.
Right.
Like where I stopped worrying about, does it sound too much like me?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Like where I went, you know what? Like where I don't want to sound like anybody else anymore. Let's just relax and enjoy it.
Yeah, and use what you have rather than, do I need to be more like this guy or this guy?
Just be yourself.
Right.
You know, and just just relax and like be comfortable in your own voice. And that's what I leaned into on this, and it worked.
That's the place every musician wants to get to, is to be able to play or sing to the point where they have their own voice. You know, their influences might still be in there, but they're not so much on your sleeve anymore. They're there, but not in the forefront. They're sort of in the back seat now, and that's great. So yeah, you definitely got there.
Thanks. That's a great way of putting it. I imagine it's probably harder for as a guitar player than it is as a singer to find your own sort of voice in the galaxy.
I would agree. I think that's really hard. And also, you know, your voice, it's so distinct that musically, to be able to have a unique voice on the guitar, there's so many people playing the same guitars, playing through the same amplifiers, but you know, the people that stand out, that you can hear 2 seconds of them on the radio or on a CD and go, oh, I know who that is. That is like the ultimate achievement for any musician. You want to have a voice that people can instantly recognize. You hear 2 seconds of Louis Armstrong and you know it's him. You hear Eddie Van Halen for 2 seconds, you know it's Eddie Van Halen. So that is like the ultimate. It's not about how fast you play or how impressive you can be. To me, I always wanted to have my own voice, and that's like the ultimate goal for me as a guitar player.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful line.
Don't say the words you didn't mean, 'cause I don't want to understand. Is there nothing I can do to keep from falling through your hands? Beautiful light, come hold me now and take me through the night.
Thanks for listening to this edition of If We Talk. We're Brother Dynamite. We'd like to remind you that If We Dare is now available on Bandcamp and iTunes and Spotify and just about every other platform there is.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Brother Dynamite Music, and on Facebook and YouTube at Brother Dynamite, and at brotherdynamite.com.
We will see you soon.